Alright, hey, this is Rogue. I'm here with Kasper, where we're going to be looking at my Season 6 of RGL Invite Highlander with Man Crush Monday against Squirtyay on Steel, which is the last week before playoffs. And I want to look at this demo from the perspective of not just the individual decisions or little improvements that could be better or and things like that, but instead to look at our overarching ideas of like what is my thought process going into each of these situations and how am I communicating with my team and the individual players with what our play is supposed to be and what we're trying to achieve. So yeah, again, I'm here with Kasper if you want to introduce yourself.
All right. Hi, my name is Kasper. I am currently the starting medic for single drop in RGL Advanced Highlander. And I'm excited to take a peek at this demo with Rogue.
All right, we're on our way. Hey, don't forget to at any point if you want to stop it and talk about something in depth, just give me the signal.
All right, sounds good.
I'm just fast forwarding here, but there's a funny circumstance in a little bit. Just buffing our demo and sniper. I see it. I think it's about to happen. The teleporter just went live and accidentally take it here. Luckily, the spy wasn't anywhere near. That's hilarious. I was thinking about that the whole time we were scrimming, like, does he really have to build the telly? Oh, the spy was near the telly, because he just killed the exit.
He knows frothing at the mouth about this teleporter.
Like, how could I not, I'm like, man, maybe we should say something to Aaron and try and, have him move it slightly to the side, but no, that's fine. Of course, in the match it actually happens. So, right. Here, our scout's going for this bonk play, and we use on our demo. So we don't force him at all. So I'm calling to the rest. While our demo's calling damage and some stuff he sees, I'm calling to everyone else. They didn't use their Uber's better. I'm playing to get out here. In times like this, I should be healing our Pyro. Actually, that's a pretty big misplay for me by not healing Marty because he should essentially die for this to stuff their Uber. Luckily, he's good enough where he's able to stay alive after. And since we got 2 or 3 picks, now we're able to go back in because I'm calling to our team. We have big numbers advantage, and our players are very healthy too. So we're ready to take whatever fights we want. And of course I'm calling that soldiers should jump for me and the rest of the team should die for me because we killed their medic. And look at my Uber is 60% compared to their medic who still hasn't spawned. We were discussing earlier about like choosing something and committing. So if I have to be in a bad situation, I may as well do it quickly. So here I just ran in a perfectly straight line almost to get all the way to the end of Wishbone so nothing could catch me out from their forward spawn. And also I'm here baiting a while, really playing the beam because I want their sniper to kill my demo or my pyro and not to kill me. So that's why I'm giving up my teammates as bait to bait out the sniper shot. A little bit of vocabulary, explaining that concept a bit more. And now I'm holding very close with my team because we're ready to take a very good exchange with them very early if they come into this. Like if their medic commits, we want to use on them right away. So that's why we kind of waited. Now, you saw we were even getting ready to go Wishbone, but they called that its Death Hall is safe or that we wanted to go for a particular reason. Normally I would say never ever go Death, but first I'm spy checking a bit, running in a perfectly straight line to get out as fast as possible. But I'm also...
There is no soldier around, so...
Yeah. And we have almost full ad still. Like, they have maybe 75 now. And I'm trying to call it to my team, like, we have ad. So if they decide to come and fight us, we can use on them and kill them enough to guaranteed get D at least, even if we don't kill their medic. Now, there's not really a good spot for me to stand here, but we have so many players. That sounds like a... fake from their medic, or a mask, sorry, from their medic, so I'm calling that they have. And you can see even with our teammates, we're calling, okay, if they're in lobby, they might use into us here. And now I'm calling to Marty since I see our Pyro is the only one taking this fight, and he is at 140, so I'm trying to communicate to my team, like, I'm going to use to save Marty, but we're milking as long as I can. So let's see what actually happens. We milk very long. I actually don't save Marty, unfortunately.
It is unfortunate. The rest of their team is just kind of flooding in here.
Yeah, this should have been actually a very good Uber, but they collapsed on us from a lot of angles at once, and we didn't have enough of a chase of our scout or something to clean up after the Uber. I also saw Exile was just kind of chilling on the crates. Did you see that?
Yeah,
he was just like looking at him.
Trying to find something to do, but, you know, they're all Uber charged.
Intimidation tactics. Don't even shoot at them, just look at them long enough for them to kill bind. Had a few. So now I'm also calling to our team, hey, they have no sniper, but we have way better spawns, so we have great positioning here in lobby where it's totally free. Like, D and E are both half-capped.
And they have no demo around, so...
Right.
That's the class that owns steel. I like how you're not playing on the point, you're just healing people from lockers until, you know, it's safe. Not sure if the sniper is looking down deck or something.
I believe that's actually why I crossed, is we just got a call on their sniper. And, oh no, that was our sniper, just done something.
Sweet.
So now I'm trying to play the beam a bit from the point. This is a little bit of a dangerous situation where it sounds like their team is in Wishbone, but their respawn is going to be coming from D. So I'm between a rock and a hard place. So I'm calling to our demo and scout, who are the ones that I'm keeping the closest. We're getting ready to use this. Like, as soon as something comes, we're going to use. Actually, we don't. But that's one of those where that's definitely a situation where it's better to drop it, don't pop it. Because if I had, you saw our heavy was just there, demo and scout and me on the point. So there's 4 players against 1. That's a situation where if their soldier really could win a 1v4 and kill me, then he kind of deserves it. Like, we could have done a lot more work if I had milked and survived than if I force onto nothing. You know, it's almost just as bad as forcing anyway.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I've had experiences where I just, like, can't play, like, on that bridge there. Hence, I don't know. Maybe it's worth it to die in situations like that. But, you know, I've tried sitting in heaven and get sniped. I've tried, like, when we're just, like, all stacking E. I don't know. My life is not entirely important. But, I don't know. I find it nice to have that insurance that you will help the point. That's why I would have stood next to lobby, because I'm still dishing out the same amount of heals, but from another side where I don't die. And if I force there, I'm like stopping the cap, but at least players get heals while they're capping the point. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot, like, that's why at least it's a gray area, but you can break it down further and say, okay, if I use here, that's going to be 8 seconds of me and at least one other person not capturing the point and not also killing anything because no one's close. Like, we'd have to run all the way through Wish to get to anyone. So that's 8 seconds of basically nothing going on if I use here. Now, if I die, my respawn timer is also 8 seconds of me not doing anything. And then I have maybe a 6 or so second walk to the point. So, either way, like, if I force, then I'll be right where I want to be without those 6 seconds. If I use, then I have a 6-second walk back. So really that difference is 6 seconds of a walk, and that's it. I'm still going to be at 0% Uber, my teammates will still be in the same situation, so in that situation for just 6 seconds, but even if it's a 50-50, like, it's either I save 6 seconds of walking, or I have an entire good Uber to use into the enemy team. So that's, I think, a situation where, like, yeah, pop it, don't drop it, but what, to save 6 seconds of walking is not worth popping for. So I think dropping is a good call there.
What I really thought about when I saw, like, when I'm thinking of just, like, playing on the other side where the soldier is not gonna, like, 2-rocket me, I was thinking about because if I was in your place there, but I was on the other side, I would have used, but I would have just, like, not stood on the point, but stood on the bridge, because your cap was really close to completing. So I thought, I don't know, what classes can jump over me if I put myself as an invulnerable body block to the rest of our cap? Maybe I'm just, like, overthinking the hell out of this, but the only classes that can really jump over me are a soldier and, like, a scout who double jumps. No one else can, like, walk through an invulnerable target.
Yeah, that's a great call as well, actually. Very heads-up play that would have been.
In that situation, I don't think it would have done much, because even though you died, you still won the cap in about, like, 3 seconds after, but, I don't know, think of if it was, like, 10 seconds to cap, you milk for 2, and you have 8 seconds of just, you're not flashing anybody, you're not using on anybody, you're just using your own body to block whatever is trying to like walk in front of you. Now, if it's a soldier or a demo, it's like no problem. They can just like put one rocket or one sticky on the ground and they just fly right over you. But like a heavy who's trying to like mow down the point, like a sniper is trying to like take shots at your team members, you can like block it. You can block the window. So I don't know, something like that where a power class just can't get through you. And even a pyro in that situation, because you cap D, the railings there, he can't air blast you off easily. He would have to air blast the ground so you go into the air. But once he air blasts the ground, he can't like shoot any flames until like a second afterwards, and your team's already just revved up, ready to gun that guy down. But it's just, I don't know, it's just really like a split-second play that I just have a knack of overthinking.
Yeah, well, I think, like you said, in that circumstance, it would have been a good move. Like here, when they were in the back of Wishbone, I would have had to maybe even use a scout speed boost and have him stop capping too and come all the way across. Maybe, and there the railings don't line up as well as on the other side of the point. And they weren't even committing to us in the first place. Like by the time I got there, I would have had to leave. But yeah, like if they're, or even, so if, imagine a circumstance where they just got 5 spawners coming in from the D spawn, and I was on the point like that. Then it's the perfect play in that situation is to run forwards, even by myself without a demo or scout if I wanted. Probably bring the demo, but to walk forwards and like stop them from coming in through that hallway from D into E would be a really great play too. So that's a great way to use Uber for sure.
Awesome. It was a well-played offense. What an angle, Waterson.
I think that thing is stuck too. It's like such a death hallway to go through.
Yeah, for sure. I see he's also using the Sydney Sleeper, just what my demo used in our official as well. We used the Huntsman for like half of it and the Sydney Sleeper for the other half.
So here I'm trying to call which people I'm giving buffs to, and keeping in mind like our demo's walking forwards. Like, I don't want to go so far forward that I end up taking spam or I'm too vulnerable from drop down, but I do want to tank him if he deems, if he thinks it's a good idea.
Like
also, sorry.
Can you pause real quick? I like how you're also just looking at your engineer for like when we looked at at my steel demos. I'm like looking towards main. My back is exposed to the dispenser and spy if he decides to decloak there, but you're keeping your eye on your engineer, looking out for spies. Keeping the crosshair, getting more, information important. I don't know. I just find that interesting.
Yeah, I think even when I'm watching now, there's like some spy, if they decloak like right in the corner behind me, like behind me to my right from this perspective. I haven't been checking that as much as I should. Yeah, like this. Yeah, like that little thing.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I guess I am checking it enough. And also, like, don't forget, your demo could do a lot with the buff and go anywhere, so anytime he jumps into upper or down from upper, I'm getting him before anyone else. Now, I wait until I get forced by the pyro and by the demo and end up forcing then.
Exile's hanging on by a thread here.
Yeah, I think actually he might have it looks like he just died, but like, his death hasn't even finished registering. He got like the perfect frame. Yeah, I kind of messed that up by milking for so long, but by having both of our players so forwards into both of their players, like I think the right play was to have Marty go forward to air blast, and Exile doesn't have to be like into them to fight, right? So like as soon as we had an idea that they were coming into the super, Exile like back up and reload, and Marty walk forward to stuff it. So I think actually that might have been not a mistake from Exile, but just the circumstance under which it led to his death and me not saving him. I also maybe should have forced before I took that pipe.
Yeah, you kind of just like walked around. I mean, obviously there's always room for improvement. Just 1 second here, my brother's calling.
Yep.
Okay, I'm back. No, he did. There's always room for improvement, but he did just kind of hit that pipe on you from around the corner when you were accidentally watching that. The start of the defense from the Michaelele versus MCM scrim. I saw that Giraffe was just peeking main and just hitting you with pipes. So I don't know, it's just interesting to see these new spam angles in Invite. Is I've never seen a demo have balls where it just walks around a corner, no fear of a sniper, no fear of a sentry gun, just lobs pipes with their med.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why, too, I try to milk a bit, because sometimes they will just tunnel vision the teammates who are the farthest forward, like, and they probably they probably did mean to pipe one of these forward players instead of me, but that's why, like, if actually they could have put, like, this much damage into Marty and not used on me at all, I actually could have milked even until Marty was at, like, 100, maybe at, like, 60 health or 40 health, and then use. Oh, sorry, Marty being Supreme Toad, the Pyro here.
Mm-hmm. Poor Exile.
Yeah.
That sucks.
So now we're flashing our scout in at the end, but I do not... What I'm calling to Marty, who went forward, is... I'm calling to him, hey, I'm backing up now. We don't have a demo, we can't stuff this anymore, so I need to be in a safe enough spot. So even Triple, who came in for the end, doesn't get a flash, but probably shouldn't even go in at that point, because we need to... Now we must stay alive, or they get to push here. Like, see, they even just take our gun down with pure spam. Now, since... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Zuki's gone a while without receiving a buff. I feel like once, you know, main is done and over with, I should just... I don't know. I always keep an eye up top to make sure my players are buffed in case there's, like a hero play coming from a demo spamming up top to weaken your reinforcements. But
yeah. Well, that's a good point. There definitely was time for me to turn there, so that's something to keep in mind. Is I should have given a quick buff, or like our soldier could have used a buff too if he had crit heals. But what we're actually doing with those guys staying so healthy and staying alive, plus Exile coming back up soon, is we know both teams don't have Uber yet, and we know they want to push now. Like, even though the Ubers didn't go that well for them, we have worse spawns, so if they get anything, it works out. So what I'm kind of, I don't know, probably someone on our team was calling it, but what I'm doing with my positioning and my overall thought process here is we want to take the fight on our terms and stuff it into this little doorway and play really aggro, like, into this small choke. So this way they have to, like, kind of go through us now and trade players for it before they could even dream of getting to me or to the point, or to our players up top. So by pinching them from both of these angles, you know, the balcony as well as in main, it makes it really difficult for them to go for these trades and get these pushes while they're funneling player after player. As you see, we're even getting our picks here with Watterson getting a pick, and Penguin just got their demo man. Our Penguin, our soldier, killed the demo going into that upper area. So that's why now I have not a great Uber. They should be pushing me here, and I don't have a demo man, but I'm still walking forward to support these teammates because it's just that good to stuff them here.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing heals on our scout, who's the most fragile, but tapping everyone else, hoping for crit heals. Buffing Watterson would be good here, but he's so deep and everyone else needs to stay alive for sure. Yeah, like, I think he probably could have backed a little after he went down to, you know, losses. Once he lost his full buff, he should have backed out until he got another one, I think. Or played a passive angle instead. That was a good
nice
spy call. Mm-hmm. I think someone else called that, it seemed like.
Or Zuki.
So now they actually got Uber way before us. I'm not sure how. Interesting. Oh.
Ooh, yeah, I saw this, yeah.
Yeah, you remember this?
I do remember this. I was watching a bunch of casts about whatever, watching this match over and over again. But, I don't know, I feel like you just should have, like, it's that thing we were talking about before, just, like, in a dangerous situation, you just want to move in a straight line. It seems that you just kind of ODB shuffled at the wrong time.
Yeah, well, what actually happened, I didn't even realize how funny it was until I watched back a POV with comms from Penguin who streamed this. But so I was leaving in Wishbone. I'm like, okay, this is a terrible situation. I'm leaving Wishbone. I'm running right away. But then Exile, who's doing the calling, is like, Rogue, leave spawn. So I'm like, well, I guess he must have just seen me walk into Wishbone. And like, whatever reason, I'm not going to sit here and think about what reason to go against the call. I'm just going to follow the call, even if it's a bad call. Turns out it was, and he apologized. He's like, oh, I didn't realize you were already out. But I'm like, you know what? If that's the call, then that's the call. So I just went for it, and that's
you just have to respect that. That's all good.
Yeah, but that was like not a good example. Like, yeah, I had like a fraction of a second to decide against that, and I didn't. So that's why it was just funny that, you know, no matter what Exile says, I'm gonna do it, and then I just die like a bitch.
Yeah, it happens.
I'm playing here, waiting until Seagate is all the way open. Like, now that it's open, I can't peek that anymore.
Okay.
So I took advantage of the times to get buffs and calling to my team. And I'm also calling to them where I am if they want more buffs.
Can you pause it for just 1 sec? I find it, I don't know. It's just nice to see the different, play styles that this, at this point has. Because, like, for my advanced team, everyone is just like, we're so scared of Wishbone because it's just gone so poorly in the past with people just walking into us, and we just don't have the brain power to fight against that. So everyone just plays super passively. But people on MCM, they play like, Zuki's just kind of like that front line of defense right there, while Exile's just kind of walking on the ground. So it's, I don't know, because you saw in my demos where I just like sit to the left of you, just in that little box there. So it's nice to see the power that this place can hold if your team plays around it correctly.
Yeah, I add in 2 extra details that make this refer to my position in particular. The first is our flankers. If you saw, like, Marty was going and peeking into Wishbone. Right now, our scout and soldier are in Wishbone. Right now we don't really care if they get lobby and stuff like that. So even though our combo is backed up and safe here, our flankers are trying to make things happen, make it hard for them, and call out what's happening. And the second aspect is, if we were holding on like the back of the catwalk or whatever it is, like more towards spawn at the end of this hallway to my left, then a soldier or a spy or something could come from this little lunchbox, we call this little overhang here. So a spy or something could come from lunchbox, it could come from death hall and things like that, and stuff me in that little corner, or it could come from the point, like a demo jumping and getting 1 stick on me to juggle me, can get me stuck on that ledge where you were talking about holding. But now here, our whole team is so forward that we're calling anything that comes by, and I have like a lot of time to get out. So if they come in all the way here to commit for me here, I have a pretty clean out. So both having our players holding aggressively in Wishbone with Uber disad, or with us not having Uber anyway, and then the second is playing with enough room for me to leave when I need to leave, makes it especially useful. See now, like, oh, they used Uber and went into Zuki here. Like, they had to commit all the way into our heavy and didn't even get him. So I'm able to stay extra aggressive. Heard that decloak too.
Oh, yes, the Uber saw.
So here, that was actually very winning. Sorry, go ahead.
Game Winnington Uber saw. I love seeing that.
Yep. So this is actually, as you saw from the beginning, it's a very winning Uber where they use it on Sandblast, their scout, to come into me and Zukima here on Lunchbox. They didn't get either of us. So that's why I came back in to flash Zuki, go for more cleanup and stuff. Hopefully our other teammates are kiting, because obviously they're not getting Ubered. But we do end up losing our players on point, which is our Pyro and our Demo. So once we had so few players, then Zuki is calling for me to get out. So this is another time I want to run in a straight line to spawn, but there's spies here. And, I try to stay far enough away to not get trick stabbed. But, yeah, once he had his gun out for long enough, that's a green light.
Tonight you guys are just full Uber. Full Uber ad. They just dropped all their players in that Uber somehow. But, all your fellas are alive now.
Yeah, I can't believe actually Zukima stayed this alive this long. Oh, and here's that jump I was talking about. You jumped right into Wish, standing on the low ground. Now, since we have this ad, I should have used, I think, about a second earlier. I think we were discussing whether or not we should use here. You can see it's a bit disjoint.
Yeah, when I was watching the, Bull and Mayo stream, he was confused as to why you used here too, and, as am I. There's, like, no spam. Their Demo and Soldier, their Demo and Soldier, died. I'm curious as, why you used here.
Yeah, it really feels like one of those, I don't know, one guy thought, oh, there's 3 things here, if their med's probably there too, we can go and kill them, but, Exile was thinking that fighting some players over here, yeah, they had, 1 or 2 combo players and 1 or 2 flank players, and then Triple was doing that same thing in Wish, and I'm over here trying to save Zukima as well, so this is just a little, I don't know, we got too excited and tried to move too fast, I guess.
Okay. Is this an Uber that you called, or is this an Uber that somebody else called?
Yeah, I would not want to use here.
Okay, I hear you. I feel the same way.
And it's one of those two where there's 2 or 3 people saying should we use? Maybe we use. I don't know if we should use. And
yeah,
suddenly
it's just all these use. You keep hearing it. Yeah, I've had that experience in the past as well.
Yeah, so it's tough to say. Yeah, that was definitely something to work on in the future now. Maybe I'll bring this up with my team. So now I'm trying to heal our guys that are more forward. Even Exile's asking for heals, but by healing the guys who are forward while they're taking damage, they're better off, and then Exile later on will have crit heals too.
Yeah, Marty's just taking heat here.
Now we do get their medic, and
excellent. Now neither team will have, you'll have Uber at like 10 seconds left, so it's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I lost track of time here too, but yeah, now that like I'm really playing the beam, letting 4 players run here first, but yeah, there's no way they can win actually.
Sandblast. El Tequila strikes again.
Yeah, and then obviously it's one after this. Maybe something funny happens.
Searching for frags. Searching for frags.
I don't think I get it. Yeah.
Triple cleans it up. And it works out.
And now the second half. Do you have any like takeaways or anything interesting to keep in mind from the first half?
I'm not sure if I have any like takeaways. It's just I don't know, the things that I just found interesting was just the different playstyles between my team, Single Drop, and then Man Crush Monday. I don't know, it's just nothing really that I take away that, I don't know. I feel like I would have done more of the same things. I probably would have like caught out because people call me like an aggressive medic player, but I don't know, I'm trying to work around that. I don't know. I'm not sure if I have any like huge takeaways. I'll probably watch this later and see if what I'm saying now stands up to what I actually believe.
You know, I'm the same way, where I'm from the Horror Blue school of medic. It was always my biggest inspiration in all of esports, but I think the way I reframed my thought process on how to play medic in today's meta and things like that is I play super safe and by the book, but it's like instead of playing aggressive, instead I just like give away all of my hopes and dreams and play by the book. But at each moment I'm looking for an opportunity to get aggressive and to play out of position and to capitalize on a potentially winning or losing situation. So that's it. For example, like on first, when we thought they should come back in, instead of me getting out to make sure that we can hold C and stuff like that if we end up losing this, instead I push forward with my team. Or when they were pushing and using into C, they didn't kill me or Zukima, so actually I'd go back in for this Uber. And if they had more than just their spy behind us, I probably would have died. But it's times like that where I look for these openings and say, actually I can go above and beyond here, where either if it doesn't work, then I lose this for sure for us. But if it does, then I turn a losing, like a middle situation into a winning one, which is what I like to look out for.
Yeah, precisely. Waterson just... Alright. So where is your demo, man?
Oh, I think he was calling, he was pressuring A.
Okay.
Oh, and talking about the differences in playstyle, by the way, I'll stop it if something gets interesting. But I'm also like very lucky, playing with these players here at high invite. A lot of the stuff is cut out for me. I think our spy maybe had called their sniper might be no drop down. Yeah, there he is.
Haha. Goodbye, Percy.
I should have been spy checking here. I don't know why I wasn't. I mean, anyway, I'm very lucky with these guys. Like, the work is kind of cut out for me. Like you said, like, you were playing on the back of C, whereas I'm playing on the front of C. But, like you said as well, it's more the players and their constellation, their set of positions. So I'm very lucky here. Like, our team knows exactly what to do when there's a sniper and drop down. And it's dealt with in a few seconds. Like one guy goes and deals with a sniper, and it's a pyro who won't even die to a headshot or a full charge body shot. And our demo scout just keep looking forwards and ignore the sniper. So it's a well-oiled machine where I'd have to make a mistake to do something wrong, essentially. So that's why I'm very lucky that a lot of the work is cut out for me and my positions are already decided ahead of time. But at the same time, that's why now if I do something wrong, then it's really wrong.
Oh, yeah, I think the same way, but I try to make as many, I don't know, I try to define as much as I don't know if that's the right term, I try to, make an impact, rather than just, playing by the book how people, think they want me to play. I try to make something of myself and go for plays. Stuff like you were talking about just earlier about how those openings, and capitalizing on such. I don't know.
Mm.
I'm kind of just flustered. I don't really know what I'm saying, but
It's all good.
I hope it makes sense.
Yeah, sure. Like even now, let's take a look at this one, right? So their sniper just went down, just died in drop down. So I know their sniper can't snipe me from drop down for about 20 seconds. And now I move forward from our dispenser and heal our guys who want to take the spam angles in main. I kind of ignore our flanker or our guys on the top. I don't even care if he offers me a sandwich in exchange for a buff. We're just giving heals to these guys forward. And I'm communicating to our demo, like you saw our demo, pyro, and scout are forward, right? So I'm saying I'm tanking demo. And now he's able to stay, even when he goes down to 150, he's still in. But you saw Marty went down to like 120, he has to back up. Triple R Scout went down to 80, and he left. Normally, other players, or if I didn't communicate it, they would all say like, hey, well, I'm hurt, you should heal me, right? That makes sense. But by letting our by letting our Scout and Pyro know you're not getting heals, only our demo is, now our healing is extra optimized because our Scout's going back for a pack, and then he'll come back maybe with crit heals.
Yeah, that's something I've, over this season, that's some, like, especially communications such as that, I've been trying my damnedest to improve them. I just don't feel like I call stuff like, I feel like I do call, like, if I'm tanking somebody a good, decent amount, but sometimes, I just forget, and, it happens, but that's just what playing the game and, practicing, it trims those edges, cuts out the fat.
Another thing along those lines that I'm doing to our guys up here is saying call your crit heals, which does two things. One, obviously, it reminds me and them to give them buffs and gives them the buffs as fast as possible, but also kind of gives them like a positive reinforcement loop or a positive feedback loop where they say now like, oh hey, if I tell Rogue I have crit heals, then he'll give me a buff. So then eventually they'll start doing it without me even having to ask. So it's kind of twofold into using communications to make our heal or heal spread better.
Yeah, for sure.
And I should be buffing our sniper more in general, but you'll notice like our sniper can't take an SVS really from up there. Oh, I'll pause it. Our sniper can't take an SVS from up there. Like if something peeks that main area, it's going to get shot by a billion things. So I actually don't really need to heal our sniper from that angle. Just to keep in mind. From main, I should be on him like almost full time unless someone else is taking active fights. But
yeah, and that's how my sniper play just plays next to that barrel over there and just is constantly taking an SVS. It's nice to see that MCM is taking a break from such a placement where Waterston is still having an impact, but not in one that disrupts the. It wouldn't even disrupt the flow of my heal order, but it's nice to see that I wouldn't have to focus on him, think about what he's doing, because I know he's safe up there with like 3 other players.
yeah, some snipers will stay on the truck actually, like on the way back of sight.
Yeah.
But I think it's a bit better up here where you can still shoot in main if you want, but you're way safer from spy and jumpers or whatever, and you can get buffs and all that.
Yeah, for
Especially
sure.
because like it drives me crazy, honestly, when snipers on defense keep playing this SBS because your respawn time plus a walk is almost 30 seconds. Like just staying alive is the most important thing you can do as sniper on defense on first here. So I really like Waterston's play here, and like you said, it's like a breath of fresh air, right? Like even if your sniper gets 4 picks and then dies, or like wipes their team, gets everyone but the medic, and then he dies, it's still worse than just surviving.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright, so here I milk for a while, and I have Marty now in the beginning, and then Exile gets flashed at the end. Also, with their player, like, I'm calling our Uber is fantastic, our Uber is so good, and I'm screaming to our team, like, Triple's coming in for a flash, everyone's coming in, Zakima even gets 2 picks off the balcony. So, what I'm doing now also is, like, I'm walking towards them, hoping that their Pyro or whoever will either shoot me and get distracted, or they'll just be intimidated by the Uber players walking towards them. So I'm moving with my back. So I'm moving towards them. However, I'm looking backwards because I'm looking for players to flash in with crit heals. So I just got our demo, and right now out of the corner of my eye, I see our scouts ready and primed to go. So that's why I'm walking towards them, but looking backwards. And I'm calling to everyone. Our Uber's really good. Come get a flash. I'll flash anyone. Now this guy gets a crit heal flash. Now our scout and these guys up top need heals the most. Everyone else knows they have to stay alive at this point. Our scout is the one farthest forward. I really like getting to buff Marty up there. The score shot is so stupid.
It's insane. I hate that weapon.
Oh my god.
Zuki, no! Zuki, no!
I was like screaming because I saw the decloak and I'm like, oh, spy. And then they took the tele and go, no, spy for real! Watch out! Like, I was yelling. I'm like, spy on teleporter. And even Zukima, like, he heard it for sure, but he's just like, in the demo, you even hear him like, oh, yeah, I'm dead. When he was up top. It was so funny. What a heads up play. Yeah, here now I'm calling to our team. Our health is pretty bad, especially because we lost our player up top. Now I'm saying this isn't so good. I want to start backing here, but I'm a bit afraid of their sniper in main, and we're about to have Uber. So I'm calling to our team like our position is bad, our health is bad. They should push here, but I'm still holding forward. So I'm healing the people who need it the most. Our soldier needs to hold up top, and our demo needs to fight in main. Now I bait Waterson until he has crit heals. Then he gets a buff. So even though he was the one calling medic the most. Oh, is that a spy? Yeah. I didn't even see that. There, I was waiting, like, again, with Exile being so close and they're spying our stuff, I had my hand ready to go on mouse 2. So as soon as I took any bit of damage, then it's time to use. So that's another mindset thing, like, or a communication thing. Like, alright, we're going to use it as soon as we need to, and I want to get out with this. Because I was playing a little aggressive to force their Uber in a bad situation. You know, it's better for them to use in their hallway rather than come out and make us force them. So I was choking up a little bit, waiting for any reason to use, and then as soon as I do, I want to sprint out. Oh, I take too long to leave. That's not good.
No, you still let you run your way out. Oh, Sandblast. Ah, the duel! Yes!
Yeah. No, I should have left earlier. That actually is a very deserved death. Wow.
Yeah. I admire the I don't know if moxie is the right word. I admire the balls to walk in there and scout.
Yeah, actually, maybe that would have been better. Now that you mention it, even just go wishbone, like instead of trying.
Yeah,
to fight
going wishbone.
Sandblast.
It's just sort of. I mean,
in my head, like when I see him, he sees me. So I should have just like. So as soon as I saw him, I was like, well, he's gonna kill me if I don't kill him. But he didn't even look at me. Like he didn't know I was there until I came even closer.
Yeah, and I don't know, in my eyes, when I saw that scout there, I'm just like, oh, I can get like probably like a free saw out of that. Maybe try to juke him, or you know, if you wanted to if you were just focused on surviving, like 110%, you know, wishbone to walk me into there, and then walking into spawn from E, maybe turning around, seeing what is going. Because I knew that you were trying to get into spawn there. It was just a roadblock.
Yeah, it is. Kind of like almost it takes a load off your shoulders with players at this caliber where you're like, okay, if I peek a sniper sight line, I will die, and if a scout is close to me, I'm going to die in 2 shots. So knowing those things, I'm like, okay, I have to do this or that's it. I remember there's a hilarious circumstance when I was playing in gold with a high plat demo. I think his name was Lazy Dean, and he's like, come on, come over here, we need to go this way. And I'm like, no, sniper's watching it. I see his dot. And he's like, this is gold. Snipers can't hit you. And then just runs through the sight line. And then I run through the sight line.
I remember when you told me this story 2 months ago, week 1.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. So that's why it's kind of funny here. Like, that now is not the case in that story. So now it's like, actually, it's not like they're guaranteed not going to hit me. It's guaranteed they will get me. So I don't even have to think about like, well, maybe I could get a saw, or like, what if I like, you know, this and that. It's like, no ifs, ands, or buts. I'm going to die. What do I want to do before I die?
Make your last words.
So now I'm still trying to play the beam a little bit, and I'm playing very far back, ready to leave. Now that we're getting all these kills, I'm able to commit deep enough. But the person I walk to is our heavy, because if someone makes a Hail Mary play, then I want to be closer to him than anyone else. Spy checking before I line up the jump. So now we have Uber advantage, and now we're able to get back into Wishbone. So now we're going to see some Wishbone gameplay. Oh, that sucks. I had no idea they had so many players there until it was too late, as you saw.
Oh, this got Randy and it's got right. WWE.
Yeah, and now, so our demo, scout, and heavy are all dead. I'm here alone with our sniper. Like, this is literally the worst case scenario. Like, even worse than a spy Uber, I think. So,
Yeah, for sure.
what I'm trying to say now to our team is something like, if I tried to leave there and walked out towards Slowgate to leave, that, you know, I probably would have gotten picked or at least forced. But now with Watterson, I'm screaming to my team, I'm alone in Wish. I'm alone. I have Uber. We have Uber now. We're alone in Wishbone. And Marty comes running right away, which is super helpful. But Seagate is now super exposed. Oh, here's a great thing, right, with my positioning too. So you think like, fuck, if I'm so scared of being alone, why am I not running into these enemies? Great, thanks for asking. The answer is, I'm just kidding. The answer is, so we are in such a bad situation now. If I stay where I am, we're definitely going to lose because we're going to get pinched from 2 directions. So what we do here instead is try and like pick one and really capitalize on it. So like Marty decides to go sprint forwards. I think we had another person in the front of Wishbone. And Watterson is looking this way too. And I'm looking back. So now we're directing all of our attention forwards. If something comes behind us, we're going to see it. We're going to know it's coming. And we're going to react accordingly. And whatever's in front of us, we're actively contesting. So by me playing in this position, it's like, all right, if something gets so deep from B, then fine, I know I have to use. If something tries to walk all the way from C into Wishbone and force me from there, then I have a lot of warning for it. So we kind of like, instead of hedging our bets and playing in the middle, we commit all the way to make sure one works. And that's what I'm doing with my positioning too, is I walk even ahead of our Pyro, where I know I can play this cute angle too around this corner. Now I kind of have to save him. I walked a little bit too deep there. I probably should have left 20% earlier. And now our teammates had come back onto C with our spawns. Now I'm juking while still walking backwards. Try and fit. There's a cool jump. You can obviously jump on that little fence too. Is a really great way to get out. But yeah, now I just had like no 1 or 2 slight jukes before leaving, but yeah.
What the fuck is Percy doing?
I forgot what happened.
That was a good escape though. Everyone who fed for you died.
I really thought that I was actually a spy disguised as their friendly sniper. I was so convinced that was a spy. I remember calling spy now that I think about it. What the hell was that?
He's giving up. He's demoralized.
Oh, jeez. But yeah, like you said, like, yeah, the way I back out to the high ground too, and I'm calling to my team, and, you know, I got that little snapshot before I turned around of, like, the scouts on me now, but what's there? And I saw they're heavy. I saw one other combo class, I believe, is on the C gate, or the slow gate. And, so then I know, like, okay, I have to use these kinds of jukes to get out, and then, like, this is how much time I have to get out as well. So, by doing those little calculations in my head, I more or less ran in a straight line to the high ground. If I saw something else, maybe I would kite on the floor or something like that, or maybe I would not even have to leave at all, depending on what I saw with our spawners being so healthy and just coming in. So that's another one. Like, once I got enough info I needed to know, don't forget you run 10% slower backwards than forwards. So, not that equates to anything more than like a quarter of a second in this situation, but every second counts once you get down to it.
Keeping it in the back of your mind is important. Exactly. Trying to the fastest way make the game go fast. That's what makes it fun.
Yep. Now you can see I kind of want to drop down here and be healing our players who want to take fights, but we're about to get Uber, and you know they have their spawners up already, so begrudgingly stay. Now I'm a little worried of their sniper if he goes on that longer angle, but.
Yeah, that's what I'm scared of too. That's why, you know, in that situation, I don't think I would have dropped down. Oh, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, yeah. So we got to call their snipers in Wishbone. So I'm like, I can peek the slow gate now. So that's when I dropped down, and then I remember we're like, okay, like get ready to use here. We're gonna walk in here, get on me, kind of thing. And the sniper just manages that god shot. I felt like our heavy is shooting actively at it. Our soldier was there. Our demo's still spamming it, and he gets that crazy shot. So that was just well played from him. Like, I think it was a good call from our team to go in and get ready to use. I certainly wouldn't want to walk and do that jump up from the floor onto the little ledge. So I do think this is the right thing. Like, I would have done it the same if I knew I was going to, like, all things equal, I would have done the same thing if I could go back, but there's just good play from them.
Yeah. You know, when I think of, like, Sniper and Wishbone, I think of him just, like, where evil is, like, right now. just like a looking into Wishbone, but you know, pretty aggro. Like if I knew he was there, I definitely would have. I mean, I'm sure you can say the same. You just play a little far back, bait that sniper out, and then you know continue walking into Wishbone with your Uber.
Yeah. Can't believe I don't get to see the end of that play with Marty on Pyro going all the way behind. So now we're down so many, I don't even want to leave. I don't even want to open that door anymore with Watterson. Like, he would do really well with the buff there, but as soon as I open that door and show my beam, then something could get like a, you know, juggle a rocket on me and kill me.
Yeah, for sure.
So here committing on such low numbers is actually not very good. And because something could be in lobby and they're coming, or they could be in Death Hall, and it looks like they are. Now that I see the one, I run the other way, but I don't know, I think... Because if we had kept me in spawn and waited for more spawners, then we would have just walked right into their Uber instead of at least having some way to kite and pinch with our spawners. Oh, shit. I want to watch this in slow motion. Let's see what happens here. I don't remember.
I think you just get owned. I think that's what happens.
Do I?
Uber stock comes out one.
Yeah.
Sticky. Lol. That sucks. And to think about it, like, to get back to spawn, it would, like, take as much time as the spawn time would be. You'd have to do a complete 360 around the entire facility.
Oh, so, true. Right, to go, like, yeah, I see.
Marty doing all in his power to combat that level 2.
Pay attention to how I'm playing the beam here, too. Like, I'm kind of swinging wide, not totally going through a door.
Making sure Watterson gets his full buff before you heal Exile.
I actually think, yeah, you saw, like, it got Watterson part of the way up, but didn't finish it because Exile, like, for taking these close-range combats where we're going to get spammed out, like, it actually kind of doesn't matter if Watterson wins or loses the SVS, but Exile needs to blast people off that point. Like, the railings aren't even up yet, and their team is very exposed, so... Like, if Watterson dies, we're in a pretty bad spot. If Exile dies, we're losing. So, that's why I tank him more than Watterson at first.
You
just headshot?
Mini Sentry.
Okay.
Powerful. Hey,
now
Marty
I'm a little bit sniper, but... Yeah. Look who decided to show up!
After all this time.
And now we're like a little scrambled here, but Watterson does get their sniper too, so that's amazing. But we know they have ad here, and we're about to get. So it's like, instead of going too crazy, going for lobby or you know, even going out to E right away, our team is like thinking and deliberating. I should be watching behind us in this hallway, but here we have spawners, luckily. Now I'm trying to play the beam, trying to milk, but our Uber's so good at this point, I'm calling like, okay, we can just kill Med, because I saw... Ray, I think, is their medic.
Yep. Looking to see if there's any charge left on that thing.
Because I forgot, we dropped someone with an Uber push, and then like if I had picked up their medigun, I would have had like 50%, and I didn't. I like forgot that was a mechanic for the past 4 years or however long.
I've never picked up another person's medigun with actual like charge left on it. I've tried it, but you know, it's always like 3%, 0%,
yeah,
5%.
In this situation, I think I was just thinking it would be BM if I picked up her medigun. But I'm like, you know, we have like 15%, and like, you know what, maybe in a scrim kind of thing.
It's good enough, yeah.
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 So now we got so many picks, I'm healing our forward players, and I know I can take this fight. Like, I can play this aggro positioning.
Woo, Zukima.
Oh, and Aaron has the crits here, so I oversend my welcome a little bit, but like anyone who sees this guy is gonna back up.
Heavy down. What else? What you got for us, Aaron? Nothing. That sucks.
Listen, after he top fragged on product, I don't ask him any questions anymore. I should have been calling to Exile that we're backing here. Like this is one of those, like, I'm sure you find yourself in this situation a lot, like so often, where you're looking around like, hey, we lost our flankers, our combo's pretty hurt and left, so it's just me and our demo. The play here for sure is for me to leave, because I'm going to die if I stay. So then you leave. But then Like, and that's the right play, and you shouldn't have made any play except that one. But by communicating, I could have saved exile. Like, I should have called a while ago, hey, everyone's leaving, our health is bad, we have no one helping you, we should back up. Then he gets out with us instead of without us, instead of dying. So I should have communicated better there what I was doing with him as a combo.
Yeah. Yeah, I find myself in this situation a handful of times.
That's so stupid.
That's unfortunate. It's just like, I don't know, I like to think of there's more than one segment when it comes to escaping, because, you know, with every room there's another threat.
Yeah.
The cleaving. I hate that weapon. Oh my god, I hate it. I voted to ban it.
It's back up so fast.
For real. And if you hit someone with it, it's like already 50% done.
Yeah, wow.
Quick fix busting out.
Yeah, I love the quick fix on anything less than enough time to get an Uber. This gun is so good. Especially for like a crazy chaotic last fight. Great spy checking there, Jesus.
It's a busted lol. Oh no, Ray's on the solemn vow. I've lost all respect for her. God, that weapon is such a crutch.
I was really thinking, like, what if it could be good when it came out, but I just, like, couldn't bring myself to do it. But, I don't know. Not even this, like, in the recent times, but, like, in the past few months, it seems like people are picking it up.
I played my first season of Sixes last season, and I saw, like, 70% of the other meds, they just use that weapon, and I don't understand why. Like, someone said, like, oh, you can call focuses with it, but, like, someone else can do that, and I don't know, just having more Uber, it just seems like so much more powerful than, you know, I can call focuses, I can see their Uber, but you can just count that.
Yeah, and it's even one of those, like, even now with the saw, like, I would say on average, per game, I get less than one saw. So, how useful is the Uber saw by comparison? But, I don't know, man. I still am on the fence.
I live for those moments where, you know, I hit a fat surf, or I just, you know, get, like, 3 saws, stuff like that. I don't know.
That, for me, is, like, the most Nurseable play, is, like, in officials to, hello?
Watson PM.
I was asking him, I'm like, what are you doing here? And he's like, oh, I'm letting him shoot me in the knees or something.
I was playing a scrim, and Aeon, who was my sniper, he was just like sitting in spawn because we were fighting some I don't know, some low advanced team. So he was just BMing, and our demo just kept peeking sightlines and dying to the sniper. So then he just says, like, Aeon, can you please play the game? He says, okay. Peeks a sightline, taunts, and our demo dies again.
Nice. But I think before I got distracted, I want to say, like, the most nursey thing that is, like, the most fun, I think, as medic is when you're using an Uber and, like, their heavies, you know, got the Fist of Steel or something, and you get some saws mid-Uber on their players to extend your Uber. Those are the best.
Of course.
Yeah, for the thought that I may someday do that in one match, I will now run the Uber sub forever.
That's what I live for. And I just think it's way more... I think it's just way more utilitarian than using just the solemn vow. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe I'm just jaded when it comes to... Or I'm just, like, stuck with this medic loadout, but whatever. I like the Uber saw. It's my Excalibur.
Maybe it could have helped, though. Like, do you remember when Sandblast was killing me when I was trying to leave into the spawn and I went for, like, an arrow and sauce? I could have known better than, like, oh, actually I could kill him in 2 arrows, or I need an arrow and a saw, or I need, like, 2 saws, or 2 saws and an arrow, you know, like, those little differences could have made, like, immediate... It could have given me, like, an immediate benefit to how I wanted to play that situation.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. We'll see.
I've never seen this before. It's a great way to pass the time.
So now I just like do a little spy checking while we're delaying for a second, which I don't like normally, but... So now our Uber is like okay. Marty plays super, super well here on Pyro and gets in really deep on like a weird angle, right? So they have to look away from us to look at him. He's so... I've always said, like, if you have the time or interest, I would look at Marty POV because he's by far and away the best teammate I've ever played with. Because the way he handles Ubers and like spam and spy checking and stuff is so in sync with like what a medic could want. Like here in this way, like he did his job of reflecting their Uber, and then saw there wasn't anything else he could do. So like it has already in his head like mapped out where he needs to go and what he needs to do. So every one of my Ubers is like looks like the best Uber of all time because of him and his play. And even when we're in disad, I'm always surviving because he knows exactly how to play it and when to die for it. And then somehow is so good that even when he should die for to deny their Uber, he denies it but lives. So it's incredible the way that he plays around Ubers, like both of our teams and their teams. So now, like, look at him. Even now I back out a little bit, but he makes so much space and so much room for us that we're able to come back in, especially with how many picks we get. So now my Uber, I'm at 0% on the low ground in the widest sight line, and I have like so much faith with that room that he made that I know we can just go back in. I'm not going to say I was spy checking there. I think I was just looking for more buffs, but good thing I was.
It's okay because their entire team wiped somehow.
Yeah, and that's true. Like once our team is calling, like that's another one of those external things. I'm running in a straight line here is great. But when our team is calling, like, oh, I'm getting this pick, I'm doing damage, I'm in this spot, then I can kind of map out, like, all right, either someone has to be, like, hiding, or have to jump through 5 players to get to me. So I'm even just it's worth taking the risk of me to play super aggro here. Or, like, stay in when it seems like I shouldn't.
We have been awarded additional time.
Woo! Sniper. Dangerous. Dangerous.
Got him.
The jigs.
Alright, check out the chat. You see that?
Rogue is cheating. Anti-headshot. He's got his anti-aim on. Ejected.
Do I give it to him? Wait. Where's the Lenny with the middle finger?
Yeah! There it is.
Classic.
And I love that.
Me too.
It's awesome. Oh, Johnny's dead. He got ad. It's over.
Yeah, so now we have to keep in mind too, let's see. I want to wait till the heavy's not shooting. There we go. We talked about, right, like you want to be so communicative with your team about your percentage and their percentage. So like their med's dead, we have this percent. Okay, we're 60, we have 20 ad. You know, okay, we have in 5 seconds, we have slight ad on them. We have to kill med fat, you know, things like this you have to keep saying even in like the downtime. But you can kind of figure out like a balance a little bit. Like once your team really understands what's going on, then you actually can calm less. Or if it's like a downtime, you can give a full sentence like, I'm in Wishbone and I have 65%. Their medic is spawning in 3 seconds, so we're gonna have a 90% advantage, and their medic is gonna be over here. Like if I could say that, now I know I don't have to say anything for the next like 20-30 seconds, you know? Like just remind people a little bit here and there. But if it's a heat of a battle on the King of the Hill, I have to constantly say it like, I'm 90, like I'm 60, I'm 80, I'm 90, and then we have 20 ad, the medic has soon, the medic has now. You know, when you have only little bits, you have to kind of put the pieces together over time. But if you have a downtime like this, when we had all those picks and we're just capping points, then I can give my team a ton of info, and then they can use that just as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is another time where I'm totally fine to drop here. I try and bait Sandblast into my teammates because first we have full ad on them, and if we use here, Exile couldn't even run across the point to do damage into someone. So using here will do nothing, especially because their medic is dead. We're not even giving them ad. So if I die, I don't care. Like I could just kill bind right now and it wouldn't I could die right now. Don't think I won't. But
and you'll spawn at like the same time as their med anyways, so
yeah, so it's like
nope.
Dropping is just as good as kill binding. Like there's no reason, like I'm not really losing anything. But if I survive and we keep this full ad, then that's fantastic. So I'm totally fine to die here myself. Actually, I don't really want to drop our teammates because we have so much momentum. So let's see what happens with what I do on Exile at 30 HP. Maybe we'll play it in slow motion. But that's why I'm like, okay, I'm fine to drop here, so I'm not going to force a Sandblast, even though I know I will die in 2 hits. I still don't force, and I now try and do my best. Like, what am I going to do before I die? Bait him into my teammate, so at least I get traded. So then, surprise, surprise, that like chance that I get to milk this Uber does come into fruition. And let's see what happens now. So I keep the beam on. That's so great. Zuki runs forward.
Zukima's got it down.
Yeah.
Blocking shots.
I probably didn't need to use on Exile here, but it was like too dangerous for too long.
Yeah.
So I should have still. And look, now he gets all the way across. Oh wait, I fucked up the timing. He just now gets all the way across. But look, he just starts shooting at people when we have 10% Uber left. Now that I'm at 3% Uber, I'm getting shot at. So going across here was not the play, and it was, again, would have been better to just drop. Like, what is he really going to do here? What am I going to do here? So
it's like
yeah,
it's like that that we were talking about before about like dropping there and I lost my train of thought. Just and you remember when you were like standing like about here and Jill just hits you with 2 rockets and you drop it, you still. Yeah, it's more of that situation. And dropping is just fine in that situation, I guess. And
yeah, I feel like I'm that kind of meme. Like, I'll keep this demo in mind if someone says "pop it, don't drop it" to me ever again. But I feel like that meme. Like when I hear a caster or someone, a co-caster of mine, or anyone, or a teammate say "pop it, don't drop it" when I drop, then I feel like that meme where I'm like, "No, that's not that simple. There's all these situations," and then the other dude's like, "Haha, Uber go burr."
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, that's so wonderful that it's like it's not even up for debate really. It's like strictly better for me to milk no matter what and risk dropping in that scenario, because even now that I use, it's worse. Like even by milking and then using now, like fuck, I'm delaying my spawn and I'm gonna have bad health, and now Exile's cut off from the rest of our team who's not in. Like this is just all around not good. Oh, there I used the sound cues of him firing the rockets to time my jumps. I don't know if you saw those timings. But that's really useful. Now, by getting shot at from the sniper too, I try and play the beam here. Yeah. Now that we get the sniper, I can move forward a bit.
Yeah,
that's my fault. I deserve that.
It's okay because their med is still dead.
Yeah.
Going on. Never mind, El Tequila strikes again. The bottle.
Cool. Oh, oops.
Very cool.
My bad.
Yeah, no worries.
So that was cool. So what are your main takeaways from what we looked at here? Talking about like the big picture and looking at some specific instances here on Steel.
Well, I definitely need to just I just need to keep talking. Sometimes I just find myself in situations where I just get, scared of what's in front of me, and I end up just going silent. So I just need to continue talking to my team, no matter what the situation ends up being. I don't know. I like the milking aspect. I try to do that as much as possible, and trying to being aware of the situations around you, and trying to find those openings that you can really capitalize with a saw or like an Uber charge, just walking in front, defying the odds, and killing their med, something like that. Just I need to be more talkative. I just need to be more aware of what's going on. I just need to not get scared of situations that are in front of me, or comms that end up being cluttered because everybody's feeling the same way I am, something like that. What are you thinking of when you watch these demos? What are your takeaways?
I'd say the most interesting to me was the drop it, don't pop it. The two occasions where it was drop it, don't pop it was the way to go, and seeing like kind of the side by side of outcomes, where the first time I risked dropping it, like I actually did drop it, and now I risked dropping it but then popped it anyway, and like I popped it and didn't drop it and it was worse for us. Obviously we won the round, but under most of those kinds of scenarios we wouldn't have won. It was just chaos and at that point. I also think it was pretty insightful, those discussions we had about like looking at this level of play compared to other levels of play, where even when I watch this demo now, I'm still amazed of like, you know, when I'm coming up the ranks and I'm watching top medics play, and I'm like, whoa, like, why are they going back in there? Or like, how are they healing this person for so long? And all these kinds of like timings of when to surf and when to get in and out. It's incredible. But when I try and play aggro like that, I just die. So I think framing it in that way, like we were discussing, where I'm specifically I'm playing absolutely safe all the time, unless I'm fully convinced that I can get away with doing something cheeky. So framing it in that way and not watching like, whoa, actually, like, we're in a losing situation, but I move forward and make it a winning one, and by healing this person instead of this one that you're supposed to, I actually made the right decision and had an impact on the round in those ways. So that, I think, was really exciting for me too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, every team works different. It's just trying to figure out as many times as possible what can work with your team. Do they know how to adapt to the situation? Can your teammates adapt to the situation? That's just a word I like to use a lot to describe TF2 and players, is just how well they can adapt to situations.
Yeah, nice. Well, all right, I guess we'll call it there. So thanks again for joining me for this. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, of course, man.